Hello, darkness, my old friend. How can you be this irrelevant? How can you be this irrelevant during the easiest time of year to draw an audience? I thought Mark Thompson, the new president of the Cemetery News Network, I thought Mark Thompson was supposed to have all the answers. I thought he was supposed to be able to turn this steaming turd into a halfway appealing, polished turd. Like the previous huge embarrassing failures that came before him, Mark Thompson, he is trying to prevent the Titanic from sinking. He brought back Donnie Lemon, featuring the Rainbow Dawn in short segments. He boosted the stock price of Dunkin' Donuts by rehiring the donut diva Brian Stelter. Was CNN throwing away money faster than a WNBA dump diver throws away wide open layups? You would think the last thing Mark Thompson would do to save the network is bring back the donut diva Brian Stelter. Not only are you responsible for paying him, you also have to reopen the cafeteria to ensure the diva's Lizzo-level appetite is satisfied. 12 months ago, when Mark Thompson officially took over for Chris Licht, better known as Chris the Bongo Licker, I told you guys that Mark Thompson was setting himself up for huge embarrassing failure. For 3 or 4 years, I have given CNN free advice. This no-talent doofus that you're watching right now who has never worked in television, I've given CNN the solution to their problem for free. If you want to save this dump of a network, you have got to find a way to do the impossible and eradicate the woke fungus. Now, normally, once an organization is infected with the fungus, it's only a matter of time before they're on life support. But if you want to save the network, you at least gotta try. And when I say eradicate the fungus, I'm not talking about these half-assed efforts. I'm not talking about firing old fossils like Wolf Blitzer. Woof, woof, woof. I'm not talking about temporarily releasing Brian Stelter. You have to eradicate the fungus from the inside out, 100%. Now, once the fungus has been eradicated, you can establish your new identity, which is the number one problem right now at the Cemetery News Network. It is the exact same problem they've had the last 3 years, and it's the main reason that CNN continues to struggle. CNN is a network without an identity. CNN is a network that is trying to please everyone, and when you're trying to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go and get to the sponsor for today's video, the number one clothing brand for the presidential candidate who has all the momentum right now, my good friends at Trump Trends. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's kind of a big election coming up next month. Over the summer, I'm sure you have noticed thousands and thousands of Trump supporters wearing clothes showing their support of Donald Trump. While people who support Cam Harris, they are hiding because showing your support for Cam Harris, that could lead to your business crashing. And if you don't believe me, just go ask Netflix. If you are going to show your support for Donald Trump, you might as well do it in style by purchasing all your Trump gear from Trump Trends. Trump Trends is your one-stop shop for everything Donald Trump. They've got your typical MAGA hats, they've got the badass shoes that you're seeing behind me, and every pair of shoes is handcrafted and acts as a repellent, guaranteed to keep all woke wanker spankers away from you. Now, as you guys know, me personally, I prefer wearing hoodies. Here is one of my new favorites right here with one of the truest statements ever said. Everything woke turns to shit. Trump Trends, they've got shoes, boots, hats, t-shirts, hoodies. They got everything you need to show your support for the Trumper and look damn good while doing it. And the best part is, when you purchase something from Trump Trends, a portion of your purchase, it is donated directly to the campaign of Donald Trump. So join over 30,000 satisfied customers by clicking the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL10, BTL10. Save 10% off your first purchase with Trump Trends. With the third quarter of the year ending earlier this week, Nielsen, they have released their quarterly ratings report for the months of July, August, and September. Now, unsurprisingly, Fox News, News. They maintained their #1 spot as the most watched network in cable news. But the summer, it was a very unique opportunity for CNN and MSNBC to show significant growth in their ratings. Not only are we in the middle of an election, the news cycle this summer, it was the busiest it's been in the 3 years that I have been doing this full time. Just think about everything that happened this summer. The Paris Olympics, they were historic as 2 Olympians made history by being the first biological men to win a gold medal in women's boxing. Well, that achievement was amazing! Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes! The summer started off with the presidential debate between the Orange Man and the rapidly aging fossil. A couple of weeks later, our former fearless leader, Johnny B. Biden, he made the courageous, unselfish decision to put the needs of his country above his own personal ambitions. He decided to step aside and let cackling Cam Harris finish the job of destroying America. We had the Republican convention in July, followed by the Butt Bongo Festival in August. There were 2 attempts on the Trumper's life this summer. Not 1, 2. There was so much going on this summer, I am probably forgetting about some of the major stories. If you're a content creator here on YouTube, if you're in the business of cable news, this summer, it should have been great for you. I know it was great for me personally. We added over 20,000 subscribers in the last 3 months. Channel had more views and revenue from April to September than we did all of last year. But while the summer was great for me personally, while the summer was great for Fox News, it wasn't so great for those trying to rest in peace in the woke cemetery at the Cemetery News Network. Nielsen, they released the top 25 shows in cable news for the 3rd quarter of 2024. Now, keep in mind, this list is specifically for shows in cable news. If this was a list of shows in all of cable, I don't think CNN would make the top 100. Now, in order to make the top 20 in cable news, your show needed to average 1.5 million viewers. Now, obviously, CNN, nowhere close to making the top 20. You could probably combine each show in their primetime lineup, and CNN still wouldn't reach 1.5 million people. But after the first 20 slots on the list, it gets a little bit easier for CNN to compete. Of the final 5 spots on the list, CNN, they should be able to secure at least 4 of those spots, right? Well, Casey, those expectations are way too high. Okay. Fair enough. What about 3 spots? 2 spots? Of the 25 most watched shows in cable news, CNN had 1 on the list. Coming in at number 24 with his smash hit, If Having Privilege Is Wrong, I Don't Wanna Be White, Andy Cooper. Way to go, Andy. Keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars that refuse to work at your network. Andy Cooper barely, I mean barely, made the list. He was 5,000 or 6,000 viewers away from CNN not having a single show in the top 25. Now, I'm sure some of you guys are wondering, KC, what about Katie Roo? Katie Roo! Caitlin Collins is a huge star! Yeah, that's what CNN wants you to believe. They want you to think that Katie Roo is a huge star, but there is no such thing as stars at CNN. There is not a single star at the network. CNN averaged just 896,000 viewers in prime time. Fox News, they tripled that number. MSNBC damn near doubled it. CNN is no longer competing with Fox and MSNBC. This dump, it is now competing with Newsmax, and if they're not careful, CNN is going to be competing with News Nation, home of Chris Cuomo. Hey, it's me, Chrissy C. How many times do I have to repeat myself? How many times do I have to say the same thing? One of the biggest problems in primetime at CNN, besides the fact that they don't have a star in the primetime lineup, but one of the biggest problems at CNN is who they have anchoring their primetime lineup. Why in the hell is Caitlin Collins still coming on at 8 o'clock at night? Why is Caitlin Collins in one of the most valuable time slots? Hell, why is Caitlin Collins still on the air? Katie Rue is one of the worst hosts in cable news. There ain't nothing interesting about her. I don't always agree with Chris Cuomo. I damn sure don't trust Chrissy C. But sometimes I will watch Chris Cuomo. Why? Well, even though he's full of shit, at least Chris Cuomo is interesting. You know what Uncle Casey would be doing if I was running CNN? I know Warner Brothers Discovery is struggling financially, but I would be doing everything in my power to go get Stephen A. Smith. Wouldn't be that hard to free up the money to sign Stephen A., get rid of Caitlin Collins, fire Andy Cooper, fire Wolf Blitzer. You should have plenty of money to go out and get Stephen A. Smith. Now, would that be enough to save the network? Who knows, but you got to do something. That idea is damn sure better than anything else CNN has done in the last few years. Is Stephen A. the most knowledgeable? No. Is he the most politically astute? Absolutely not. But if CNN hired Stephen A. Smith, he would be the most entertaining and he would be by far their biggest star. You know what else I would do? I would hire Chris Cuomo to be Stephen A. Smith's lead-in. Why? Because you could get Chrissy C for cheap. He's only making, I think, about $1 million a year at News Nation. CNN, they could probably give him half that number. Hell, Chris Cuomo, he might be willing to work for free just to get back into the mainstream media. The point is, you gotta do something. Because right now, CNN seems to be following the advice of Dennis Allen, the doofus head coach of my Saints. Right now, CNN, they keep doing what they're doing, which is being a huge embarrassing failure. Again, Stephen A. and Chris Cuomo, they might not be enough. It might be too late to rescue the Titanic, but at least if you hired them, you would be going down fighting. Give me your thoughts on this. In the busiest news cycle in years, ratings at CNN continue to be a huge embarrassing failure. One show in the top 25 in cable news. Absolutely pathetic. What do you think of my idea of having Stephen A. Smith at CNN? Now, politically speaking, I don't agree with Stephen A., but he would give the network an identity. He would bring star power. Do I think CNN will do it? Probably not. With Warner Brothers Discovery struggling so bad financially, it would not surprise me if they were looking to sell CNN altogether. But anyway, sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys later.